guys, it's Kim here. I just got back from the lake about maybe an hour ago to 45 minutes ago. I don't know. Anyways, today's video is about injuries and car accidents. So what I'm going to start, I filmed this Wednesday night last week and I deleted it. I didn't like it. I filmed it at night. So what I'm going to do is refilm it. That's what I'm doing today. So anyways, I'm going to just start the video off with, I think I'll do injuries first, because then I can get into car accidents and you guys will actually understand why my back or my neck still bothers me to this day and how I have to be careful. So when I was in grade 5, I was actually in gym, so this didn't happen figure skating. Majority of my injuries are from figure skating, but this one in particular was my very first injury, and I just want to come and explain how it happened, how they all happen, and what they're like today. So my very first injury happened in grade 5 in gym. I didn't realize that one of my shoelaces were untied, and one of my classmates, I love her still to this day. It wasn't her fault. It wasn't my fault either. It was a freak accident. So what happened is when we went into the gym, we did kind of a warm up. So we ran laps around the gym, and she accidentally went in front of me but stepped on my shoelace. So my right foot actually did like a 360, but I pretty much stood still while my foot went all the way around in like a circle, like did a 360, let's just say that, or a 180, whatever. It went all the way around. So my ankle really, it was actually the size of a softball, and it hurt a lot. So it was bruising already, and I think I fell to the ground and I started just screaming in pain because I literally thought I broke my ankle. But the thing is, I had a bad sprain and a little crack in my ankle, plus I had a little crack in my arch of my foot, of that foot. So, I got an x-ray, of course, after school. My mom came, wrapped it up, did a lot of things for me, gave me Tylenol to help me with the pain for the rest of the day. There's a lot of things I did that day at school before I went and got my x-ray done. I just won't get into it. If you guys want to know about that, I can do a separate video on it. But anyways, so I got an x-ray, and of course there was a crack in my ankle, a crack in my arch of my foot. My doctor said, at the time, my family doctor said, even if I would have broke the arch of my foot, I still would have been able to walk on it. It just would have been excruciating pain. So I had the option of either taking crutches and using them till it all healed, or dealing with the pain and forcing myself to walk with the pain. So my mom is a registered nurse. So don't get me wrong. I was 11 years old, and this is in March of 2018 now. 2002, because I was in 2004, I was in grade 4. So yeah, 2002. March of 2002. This is when it happened, and of course, a week later, I went on a club trip for figure skating, just because it was all paid for. So don't get me wrong, I didn't do gym for a whole week, went on this trip, and then came back and decided to do gym because I just wanted to let my foot heel for the competition. Didn't do all my big jumps at this competition. I just went to experience this club trip to Alberta. It was fun. I wanted to go since it was paid for. Anyways, what happened? I didn't do crutches. I dealt with the pain. My mom was a registered nurse. She just said, Kim, it's up to you. But here's my opinion. If you take crutches, you're going to have a hard time when you come off of them. You're going to have a hard time reusing that foot because it'll be so seized up that you'll have to retrain it to bend, retrain it to do a lot of other things. So I took my mom's advice and I said, no, I'm not going to take crutches. I'll wrap it up and I'll deal with the pain. I'll take Advil, whatever. And I'll ice it. So that's what I did. I iced it every day I went to school and I iced it every time I came home. So the swelling would go down. But of course, my foot was still the size of a softball. So about grade 6, of course my foot healed, but going into grade 6, the first week of school, my best friend at the time, she came to school with crutches. I asked her what happened. So get this. She sprained her left ankle jumping on a trampoline. That's pretty easy. I did it. My ankles are weak, so I'll get into my other ankle in a little bit. But she came to school with crutches on a sprained ankle. And, to me, she didn't know she didn't know anything about my x-rays in grade 5. So she had a good story. She tried to argue with me that her injury was a lot worse than mine, and I wasn't the type to argue with people and be like, you never saw my x-ray, you don't know what exactly went on in my foot, you have no idea. And you have to understand whether you want to use crutches when you hurt yourself or not. The doctor gives you the choice. Even if you break your knee, you can have a walking cast, or you break your ankle, you can have a walking cast. It doesn't matter. You just have to do what's right for you. I chose not to take crutches. I chose not to take a walking cast. It would be different if I would have actually broke the arch of my foot or broke my ankle. It was cracked in both spots. So till this day, I still can break both spots if I end up hurting it that bad again in my right ankle. You're always going to have that fracture in your foot where you've hurt it previously. So there is a good chance that you may re-injure it. So your muscles there become really weak. And to try and explain this to a friend in grade 6 when your mother explained it to you in grade 5 when you hurt your foot really bad, your friend doesn't want to listen because she thinks she knows everything. But anyways, that's just what I'm trying to get at, and that's a little story right there. It's a little bit off topic, but it's just trying to compare two people that hurt their foot, but two different foot within a year apart or a couple months apart. So anyways, on to my next injury. So grade 9. This actually happened when I was at figure skating practice in Prince Albert at my main skating club. I loved my coaches. I started skating there in grade 4. I was very competitive. Figure skating was my life. Anyways, so grade 9, I was actually in a spinning lesson. So where we actually just practiced our spins and stuff. And I can't remember if it was just the camel spin I was doing or the flying camel. The difference between the two, the camel is just on one foot. The flying camel is you're going from one foot to the other foot. And if I can remember correctly, it was the flying camel spin because my toe pick got caught in the ice. So I'm right-handed, so I always landed my jumps on my right foot, but I took off majority of the jumps on my left foot depending on the jump. Like my toe, all my jumps except for the flip and Lutz, I took off on my left foot, but my Lutz and my flip were my right foot toe picks. But the flying camel, I went from my left foot to my right foot. So my left toe pick got caught in the ice. I don't know how. I think there was just a little hole in the ice and we didn't realize it. And my toe pick got stuck and my left foot went all the way around, just like my right foot did in grade 5. I sprained it, but I also tore ligaments. But what I didn't realize is that I also hurt a little bit of my Achilles tendon, but it didn't bother me. So your Achilles tendon is also a tendon in your foot, that's usually an injury that happens in like runners and football players, hikers, lacrosse players. Like it happens to everyone that's in sports. It can happen to anyone actually. I ended up injuring that too, but not really bad, and it didn't bother me in grade 9. So moving on to grade 10. This also happened at figure skating. I was practicing for a competition that was like 2 months away. I broke my tailbone. So how I did that was I was doing the Bjorkman spin where you like pull up your foot and it's like above your head. So I was doing that and I actually lost my balance and I fell out of it, so I fell right onto my tailbone. And so I broke my tailbone in grade 10. In grade 11, I almost crushed my kneecap at a competition. I was testing my pre-novice and I fell after I landed my double-double combination. I think it was a double Lutz, double loop. I didn't fall. I landed that jump, and then as I was skating to go into my next jump, I actually tripped on something. I think it was like a piece of a sequence from the girl previous to my program that skated before me. A sequence must have fell off her dress, and no one noticed or anything, and I didn't realize it while I was just warming up before my name got called, and I tripped on it, or my edge slipped, and I hit my knee right on the ice and slid into the boards and hit the exact same knee that I hit on the ice into the boards. So I ended up having blood underneath my kneecap, which pushed it up. And that was my left knee. So that bothers me every once in a while, depending on which way I turn. So that's not a bad injury that I'm concerned about right now, as much as my back. Anyways, so then going into grade 12, it would have been about October. I got into my very first car accident. So I actually got rear-ended pretty badly. I wish I still had the pictures of my car when it was hit. That was kind of bad on my part. I deleted it. My trunk was actually, you know how trunks sit like this? Well, my trunk was actually pushed like that. So, it kind of, was pushed in. But, the corners and then the kind of, loop or the curve by, your rear view window in the back. You could actually look into my trunk that way. without having to open it. So it was a freaky accident. Like, if I, like, don't comment down below that I'm being racist, because I'm not. It was two Aboriginal males that hit me. They weren't going really fast. It's just that it was icy, and I could tell that they were slowing down, but I don't think they realized that there was ice where I was, so they didn't slow down fast enough. So, like, really, it wasn't their fault. They were actually really nice, and I have Métis in me, so I am not racist, of course. I have nothing against Aboriginals. It was just a freak accident. Like, you couldn't stop it. I got pushed into the middle of the intersection anyways. I was just lucky enough to have no one at the time be coming like this to hit me from both sides. And then, you know, that would have been even a worse accident. But at the time, my car didn't get totaled off. It was a one accident. I had a really bad back injury there. So, like, my back got altered because of my skating since I broke my tailbone. So my back started hurting me more and more. I had to wear a neck brace for 2 months. So that was difficult in school. I remember my guy friend, I'm not sure if he'll be watching this, but his name is Kendall. We were sitting, I think, in English or history, and I think, like, on neck braces, there's a curve at the bottom. So when I would try to look down and write, the curve of it, like, it kind of points down, but curves up. It would always poke me right in here. So it would really hurt, and I decided, you know what, there's only like 5 minutes left of class, I'm just going to take it off for 5 minutes. So I took it off, and I threw it on the ground, and Kendall would be like, Kim, put your neck brace back on, you're supposed to wear it for 2 months straight. I'm just like, okay, well, you know, 5 minutes isn't going to hurt. And so, like, it started being an argument in the middle of class. And I was just like, okay, Kendall, like, seriously, just do your work. Like, there's only 5 minutes left of class. It's not gonna hurt me. And, of course, he keeps going and saying, Kim, put on your neck brace. Like, you're supposed to wear it. And, like, you know, I wasn't doing it to try and get a rise out of anyone or to get into trouble or anything. It was starting to get really painful for me to do my work in class. So then, you know, me and him just started arguing, and then our teacher just said, you know what, Kim, just put it back on. That way Kendall will shut up and do his work. So, of course, well, I was just like, well, is there any easier way that if I have to wear my neck brace for 2 months, is there an easier way for me to do my work when it's jabbing me in the throat? And she's just like, if you have a laptop, bring it to school and type your notes. That way you're not writing, you can actually just look up and just type. And, like, I was a pretty good typer at the time, so I keep clapping. Anyways, so I put it back on, and the next day I brought my laptop, told my parents that I was taking my laptop to school to take notes because it would be a lot easier since I was wearing the neck brace. And I had to wear it at night to sleep, and that was very uncomfortable too. And so I had to sleep on my back the whole time. It was really difficult. I'm a side sleeper, so I always sleep on my left side. There's the odd time where I'm sleeping on my back or my stomach. It all depends. Like, my neck seizes up a lot, so I have to be a side sleeper. It's a lot easier for me because then my shoulders don't go like that or like that when I'm sleeping, whereas when I'm on my back, they tend to do that, and on my stomach, they tend to go up. So I tend to tense up on my back or my stomach, so I try to sleep on my left side more and my right side. I do prefer my left side, though. It's a lot easier on my neck and my back. Now, on to my other car accident. It was when I was going into hair school. Or I it was towards the end of hair school, actually. It was in April of 2012. I was going to school and I was in the middle of an intersection on a yellow light. So 2 oncoming lanes stopped, but the third lane person I couldn't see, and it was a yellow light, so I was just like, even if there's vehicles coming on that side, they should still be stopping no matter what. Well, this guy that hit me on the side of my car and bent in my front wheel axis, he actually was trying to make the yellow light. So technically, to this day, it shouldn't have been my fault because it was already yellow, and for the speed he was going at, if he was going slower than 80, it shouldn't have totaled off my vehicle. It should have only dented my vehicle. Like, if he was going like 50, like the actual speed limit was in that area, I think it was like 22nd and Avenue C was where I was turning onto Avenue C to go and park in the, it used to be a $5 a day parking, but now I don't think that that's there anymore. But yeah, in that one, like it was brutal. Like I didn't feel the pain right away. Like, I was still in shock that I got in another accident. And I was in shock because the cop kept telling me that it was my fault. And yes, I understand that turning on a yellow light, when you're already in the middle of an intersection, you're turning. Yes, I can see that being my fault. But why was the guy that hit me going 80 miles an hour and giving me whiplash from the side? I actually hit my shoulder against the steering wheel. I had a seatbelt bruise from this way. Yeah. And I had 2 bruises right here. Almost broke my collarbone from hitting the steering wheel. I hit my head on my door, and what else? He bent the wheel of my front wheel axis. So you know how your wheels are like this? Well, he bent it inwards. So of course I knew my car was going to be totaled, but I was still in shock that I got hit, that I didn't bother arguing with the cop. I took the ticket. I went to school. Right when I got to school, I walked in and I could already feel like my neck was throbbing. I had really bad neck pain. I had really bad back pain. I just started like screaming. Like, no one knew what was going on. And I was just like, okay, I know my mom's in the city for a meeting. I'm going to call her to come get me. Because of course, everyone asked me what was going on, and I was just like, I got in a car accident, my back hurts, my neck hurts, like, I really don't think I can be at school right now. And the teachers were just like, Kim, if you just got in a car accident, go home, go get checked out, rest. And I was just like, okay. So I called my mom, of course, and like some of my friends were just like, you know what, if we drove today, we would totally take you. My cousin was just like, if I would have drove today, I would take you home. And so I ended up calling my mom. She came, got me, she dropped me off at, like, she was supposed to be in meetings, so she had to leave her meeting to come get me, and she worked for the health region at the time. Or I think she just started with the university, actually. But she worked for the Prince Albert site. And, so, she came and got me, she dropped me off at, I didn't want to go to Willow Grove Medical Clinic where my family doctor is at the moment. I knew my doctor would be very busy, so I knew I wouldn't get in with her. So I went to the Kinderdyne Medical Clinic, which there's 2 Kinderdyne medical centers in Saskatoon. There's one actually on Kinderdyne Road. And then there's one off of McCormick Road by Shoppers Drug Mart, in that little shopping area. I went there, got my back checked, got my neck checked, got 2 x-rays done. He prescribed me some pain medication. I can't remember what it was, but I think they were like little thin blue ones, kind of like the Aleve, kind of like the Aleve pills that you can buy for extra strength, and it's majority for back pain and joint pain. So I'm not going to say they were Aleve he prescribed me, because they were actual pain medication that actually made me want to sleep. He also gave me a letter saying that I need to take a week off to rest. So I actually sent that with my cousin. Or did I might have also took a picture and sent it to the head, the director of Margaret College, and I think I actually took a picture and I emailed it to her so that she knew that I actually had a doctor's note to take off a week of school, because he told me like this pain medication is going to make you sleepy. So I had to take 2 the first day. So I got that medication. I took 2 right when I got back to mine and my brother's apartment. And I put on a movie and I fell asleep. Well, my brother at the time did not know I got in a car accident. So him and my cousin, I think it was Shawnee, who came, and they decided that they wanted to play some video games. And of course, I was sleeping on the couch. So my brother, of course, didn't know I was in a car accident. He picked me up and I started screaming. He had no idea why I was screaming or what. So, of course, I said all these mean things to my brother and called him an ass and all this. And he brought me to my room, put me on my bed, shut my door, and he's just like, "Kate, Kim, calm down. Like, what's going on? Why aren't you at school?" I was just like, "You know what? I got in a car accident. My back hurts. I fell asleep because of the pain meds that the doctor gave me, and my neck hurts." And he's just like, "Okay, you know what? I'm sorry. I should have woke you up and I asked you, can I take you to your room?" And, my brother ended up being really nice instead of freaking out on me. And, anyways, the thing is, my brother and his friend, my brother and my cousin, before I told them what happened, they started laughing at me. And so it made me freak out even more because, I was drugged up because of the pain, and I was tired because of the pain meds that I was prescribed. And so, I think I took those I only got so many. I think they were only for like a week. So I didn't have a refill of them. It was only for a week. And my brother ended up being really nice after. Like, him and Shawnee went to the gym, and then I think he came back. And he's just like, "Kim, are you able to come eat supper? Or do you just want to sleep?" So I got up, I walked around the apartment a little bit so that I didn't get stiff. But then I had to take another I took an Advil instead of taking another pain medication that night, because I took 2 already, and it was like I think 10 in the morning that I took those 2, that I had to take the first 2 then, and then the next day I only had to take 1. So I was just like, okay, I'm off for a week, like I just need to rest, I need to relax, and that's all I had to do. So moral of my story is, like, I was supposed to have a doctor's appointment last week. So when I filmed this, I was actually supposed to have the appointment on June 7th, but my doctor ended up delivering a baby. So I actually could have went in still and saw a walk-in doctor, but I did that already for when I went to see about my depression and my anxiety. So I'm on antidepressants for that, which, if you guys want a video all on that and how it makes me feel and like my opinion on it, please comment down below and I will do a separate video just on that. My parents don't know I'm on antidepressants, of course, just because I'm not ready to tell them. Like, my uncle knows, and my brother, I think, knows, because he sees it on my Snapchat quite a bit. But yeah, I can do the whole separate video on that, and I can give you guys my story on how I dealt with my depression before I went and decided to go on them. Like, I'm 26 years old, and I've been dealing with it since I was 13. So, and I have anxiety too, so it kind of like helps with both. The medication I'm on for my antidepressants help for both, actually, and it's a low dose right now. So, my doctor's appointment was actually supposed to check that up and see how it's reacting with me, and see if I need a higher dose or whatnot. And it's actually working. I missed 2 days though on the weekend because of CPR, and I realized how much it actually helps me until I miss 2 days, and then it's just like you're back to where you were before you were on them, and it's helped me quite a bit. So if you guys want a video on that, just please comment down below and I will definitely film it. But anyways, yeah, I have a doctor's appointment to check up on my antidepressants tomorrow. Hopefully I can actually go. I think that's at like 12:20 tomorrow. And I will be talking to her about my back and my neck again, and see if I can get some kind of pain medication for my back, because it's always hurting constantly. No matter if I'm walking or I'm sitting or I'm driving, it's constantly hurting, and physio does not help with my back. I might ask about a chiropractor and get it cracked, because I know my brother used to crack my back for me. Like, he just used to hold me and then bounce me up, and it used to just crack all along my spine, which felt so good. Like, even though he's not a chiropractor, it took the pressure off the middle of my spine. So I'm gonna see if she can give me a referral. Not that I need one, because the chiropractor place I'm thinking about going to, they don't need a referral, but I think it would just be best if I did have a referral, because then it's just like, okay, I really need to do this. And I've always been like that. I also now it'll be 3 years. 3 years ago, I hurt my Achilles tendon. So I was in my office admin course. I kind of got off topic there for a little bit, and I totally forgot about it. So, like I said, when I was in grade 9, I probably injured my Achilles tendon as well. So probably about 3 years ago, I did something to it. Like, I was running on the treadmill or something, and I heard this crack, or I heard a snap. I can't remember what sound it was. And I literally thought that I snapped my Achilles tendon. So it would have been about the beginning of April it happened, of 2015. Yeah, no, 2016. So April of 2016, right? Yeah. I was limping already. Like, I was limping pretty bad. It hurt so much that I could hardly walk on my left foot. How did it go? I ended up leaving it because I thought, maybe I just hurt it, like, just sprained it again. Ankles get weak. So I really didn't know that it was my Achilles tendon until like a year later. Or no, I went to see a doctor in May about it after I was done school, because all of us girls were like in my class were going to get drinks and supper and just get together and everything. And I decided, you know what, I have to be in Prince Albert anyways for this. I might as well just go to a walk-in clinic there. Went to a walk-in clinic, found out I hurt my Achilles tendon. found out that I tore it. So it was an easy fix with physio. Of course, it still bothers me to this day. If I would have cracked it or snapped it, I would have needed surgery. If I would have snapped it in half, that would have needed surgery. I would have been in a cast for 6 months. And if I cracked it, it would have been, I think, also a little bit of surgery, but it wouldn't have been too intense of recovery. But anyways, yeah, I was in physio. I was supposed to go into physio in March of 2017. When I was going to Ixtapa, but they wanted to get me in for the 16th of March, but we were leaving the 16th of March for Ixtapa, and so I ended up doing my first physio appointment on March 28th of 2017 till about June 6th of 2017, so I was there for a good 4 months. So it helped quite a bit, but I got dry needling once, and that was my first appointment. It felt good, but boy, did my calf hurt. Like, the needles go in, like, it's not like acupuncture where the needles actually stay in. It's like you get poked, it comes out. You get poked, it comes out. You get poked. And it goes all the way down your calf plus into your Achilles tendon. And that hurts. But, it relieves the pressure and everything on your Achilles tendon. So it helps. Anyways, this video actually is longer than I wanted it to be. And I kind of started rambling on about other things. So anyways, I'm going to end this video right here, and I'm going to try and post it right now. And hopefully you guys like it, and please subscribe to my channel. Thanks. Bye.